I want to go to the bathroom with transgenders, or does it even affect my bank account? So basically, I just coming across transgender stuff, sports, particularly that's the big hot topic, high school sports, college sports, and professional sports, and how many of the athletes that possibly were born genetically as a male, then transgender to a female, are dominating, and how that affects your wallet, that affects scholarships, that affects all these other things. And is that, some people, they're like, oh, it's just a medal or a trophy, and, they should just perform better. And then, there's some others who are saying on the opposite end that the testosterone isn't necessarily suppressed long enough, and they still might have more muscle than fat, and they have a genetic important advantage against their females, and this is going across the country, and so that affects people's wallets. But so the how you get labeled as transphobic on that end, and if you dare say something that's remotely against transgenders, that's crazy, right? But there's certain things that are going on in our culture, like racism, that people are outwardly coming out ever since Trump, necessarily, whether you're for him or against him. I'm not trying to say anything political on this front, but it was very forward on some of his racial views, necessarily, and then people go, oh, well, he just doesn't speak before he talks. But the KKK was quoting him and trying to make recruits off of quoting him. And then you have this talk, and that does affect racism does affect people's wallets. They get paid less. They get, of course, they get like less of a pay raise or less starting pay, and so on and so forth. A black female with a bachelor's degree might get paid less than a white male with a high school diploma of this exact same age. So, you've got this whole dynamic, and that's in the United States of America, of course. But what we have here is this isn't race or religion. This is, of course, biologics. That is, one argument. And then the other is, well, they are literally changing something. This is like being gay or something like that. But there is a, consistent, we want to include everybody, and you're not including them. And it is somehow equivalent to that, right? And how that the problem I think that people are coming in hand with is how it affects people's what. So back to how I began the video, the bathroom thing. Like, I have more of a problem when Starbucks in Texas, throughout Texas, they took the boy-girl sign off the bathroom, right? And I don't like that in this area, and so I'm not even going anymore because of their union busting tactics. If you're in a union, there are statistics that show you're more likely to live longer, you're more likely to have a better financial well-being in retirement, and all of these other positive tactics. And so some of those union busting companies, what they do, they lie in their meetings, or they shut down the store if they do vote for a union. And that's something that's going on with it was reported by I think the Young Turks or something on YouTube. They were saying how in Ithaca they were planning to close all 3 stores that voted to unionize. And I'm like, that sounds like Walmart. And you're messing with people's financial future, saying they get paid less when they get paid more, or something like that. So you can't fire them for no reason. When it comes to many of these unions, you can't fire them for no reason. You can't write them up for no reason. You just can't do stuff. You can't be the big bully as a boss. And so those things, you have more protections. But I don't know if anyone's going to run into that. But this was really back to the whole transgender thing, and how, it's going to affect your wallet. It could affect your wallet, like if they transgender from female to male, in a sense, and, being that men somewhat get paid better. If they change their name as well, then they might get a higher pay, right, in the long run. So the sexism on that end, on that front, could help female transitioning on that end. But however, just a few things. What did I write here? I'm writing. But the big thing was getting that I found out there was a girl on. I guess she wants to be called a girl. She's detransitioning back to a girl. She transitioned at 18. They didn't do any psychotherapy treatments. They didn't do any doctors. They were just like, let's get the insurance approved. It was all her self-diagnosis. And she had transitioned from female to male at 18. She was taking testosterone, and now she's trying to detransition back. And so you've got this whole thing where you could get labeled as transphobic, so then it could affect your wallet. And but that was the thing, when they have these cash prizes, and if it's not a cash prize in the sports arena with transgender, then what you have is this whole thing where you've got advertisements, you've got brand deals. Of course, the big one is Wheaties, right? So Wheaties takes on the winner of the sport, and so people are like, oh, they want to be like them, until they find out older, oh, they were a transgender, and that's horrible. But there was something else. If you have a problem, or you just don't know, like I work in customer service, and I don't know what they identify as, and there's not a name tag on there, and they could have their hair cut a certain way. Nowadays it could be very different. So you just leave the ma'am or the sir out of the conversation. You say, hi, how you doing, until you get more of a short thing, much more closer to a short thing. Does this person want to be called he or she? And so, and they might not even be transgender. It just could be, they have their hair cut in a certain way, or they're wearing a certain outfit. They could be just a cross-dresser. So you have all those things going on. But to get suddenly labeled as racist or transphobic or sexist based on one thing could be a negative thing without substantive commentary to back that up. And keyword being substantive, because I don't know if there's much on the sexism side that I have ever heard or found that I've been like, that makes some sense. No, it doesn't. That would affect the wallet. Not talking like light jokes about women or female, but light not talking light jokes, like I said, but really like substantive that affect your wallet financially. Women do this, women do that, so they shouldn't. Women get pregnant and they do this, so they shouldn't get paid equally, or something like that. Is but anyway, so I don't know what the title of this video is going to be, but just a ramble on hot topics. How about that? And ramble on financial hot topics. And so thank you so much. May 12th, Finance Nation. Subscribe, like, comment the video, and we'll see you later. Thanks. Bye.